What's up, guys? My name is Benjamin Cashin, which I'm sure you know because you're on my profile. But I asked on my story if anybody would be interested in kind of seeing how we record and edit our services during this coronavirus pandemic. And so what we're doing is we're actually pre-recording our Sunday morning services. So what that looks like, and there's a few different steps to that. One, on Wednesday night after our live service, because we do go live and live stream on Wednesday night services for our midweek. But after our live stream on Wednesday night, we actually start recording for Sunday morning. So what that looks like, our setup for cameras, we have 3 Sony ZS-280 broadcast cameras recording. And then we also have 3 GoPros. I believe they're the Hero 7s. And then lastly, I have my Canon 5D Mark II, which is recording right now. And then I also have a Canon 6D Mark II that is also recording just some filler wide shots and cover shots. So what that looks like is we have the 3 Sonys they're shooting. We have a tight solo shot, so always on the soloist or always on the vocalist singing at the point or ad-libbing, and then a tight shot on the pastor. And then we also have our wide shot, or what we call our 4 shot, which is just a wider shot of the platform. Sometimes it's a full shot of the platform, or it's just a 4 shot of our 4 frontline vocalists. And so what that does is that gives me a cover shot no matter when I'm editing. So we have those 2 shots, and then we also have the 3 GoPros, which usually we use those as cover shots for 2 of them. So we do one big cover shot behind the drum cage that encapsulates the whole stage and gets that back of the drummer perspective with the sanctuary in the background. And then we also have a keys shot, which just gives us that extra shot. So if the keys do any lick or something that we might have missed with our primary cameras, I always have a shot to capture that on. So we have those 2 GoPros set up. And then lastly, for our 3rd GoPro, we actually have it on a Karma GoPro grip, which is absolutely incredible. The shots we get from that are just something that we can't really get because I don't have a gimbal for my DSLR, and the Sonys are on tripods. So the shots we get from that is just so great. And then our last Sony camera, which I forgot to mention, is handheld. So that's getting some of those up close key shots or some of those up close guitar shots and some of those moving vocalist shots, which just look really great. And so we're shooting, again, that is, I believe 8 cameras are shooting for each service. So we record service, 8 cameras for video, and then audio we record through Trax Live. So we have a Soundcraft Impact board, which isn't my preferred board, but what we're doing is we're just running Dante out through a Dante card into Trax Live on a MacBook, and that is capturing all of our audio. So we capture all the audio through Trax Live, and then we bring that audio into Pro Tools, where I mix and edit through a session, which you can even see I have it pulled up right here. We have my Pro Tools session, and I think it runs probably about 30 or 40 channels, and that's including my buses, my effects, and everything else that we're doing. So we run everything through Pro Tools for audio, and then so instead of using a drum trigger for triggering a VST plugin for triggering drum sounds, I'm actually using Logic to replace my drums. And what I actually do is I don't just do replacement, I double my drums. So I use a sample and the real kick sound that I'm getting, and a sample and the real snare sound I'm getting. Just to give me a little extra kick and a little extra snare sound that I just sometimes feel like I'm missing out of the kit itself. So I do sample my kick and my snare just a little bit, and usually I'll have my normal volume of the instrument, the acoustic instrument, and then I have my sample kind of sitting underneath it. So we're still hearing the majority from the real instrument itself. So we mix everything down in Pro Tools. I use Logic for some drum replacement, very little, but we mix in Pro Tools, and then we export that file into Final Cut, we export that file and then we pull that audio file into Final Cut, where I have all my cameras lined up, all 8 of those camera shots lined up, and that's when I go through and I start one by one picking the camera shots that I want, and I go through that and we just go through the full camera shot, and I get the service put together in a file, all cut up however I want my shots to look, and lay that out in a timeline. And then what I like to do is I like to export that in itself after color grading. So I color grade it and then I export that file, and that's just my main file. It's not my final file yet, but it's just what I call my master, my full service file. And then I bring that file into Final Cut again, and that's when I add my lyrics, which we're using Pro Presenter, and we're doing a green screen, and I key out the green through Final Cut as well. So we're doing my lower third lyrics, which I just kind of drop in there, key out my green, and I have set up. And then I also like to do my intro video. So we have an intro video for our broadcast, and then we have a countdown, and then we play our worship set, and if we have any special elements. So this week we actually do have a special element, And so after the first worship song, we'll have a break and I'll go into that special element video, and then we'll come back out of that into the rest of the service, which will be another song, preaching, and then altar call. And then after altar call, I like to fade to black for a second, and then I bring in my offering appeal video right after that, and then we just go to our logo and we finish the service. So that's a very quick rundown of how we do it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. It's been absolutely crazy figuring this out. There's so much to learn, so much to do, and this thing is keeping all creatives just busy all the time, but it's super awesome. It's an incredible reach. It's an incredible ministry. I'm super excited to be doing this and to be learning about all this new stuff. But again, if you have any questions or any ways that may help me, because again, I'm still learning, but please leave them in the comments. I'd love to talk, love to figure things out, love to help other people or learn if there's something that you know that I don't. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video.